Now I have to watch this. All right. I'm making waves, guys. I'm making waves, I guess. Apparently, I'm in this video, how OnlyJayus became the TikTok's most hated content creator. Now, you know this one hits a little bit of a frustrating spot with me, because at a time, I used to be friends with Jayus, even through all the terrible things that she did. And I have like a video about it. It's called like "I'm Done with Jayus," you know, because I felt bad for her or them. I should probably correct that. So Jayus uses they them pronouns, and people are like, "Papa, you keep getting it wrong. Why?" The reason is because like they don't care, and so like it's not something I internalized. I should have. They never really cared. Even in the DMs with me, they referred to themselves like as like a little girl or something. I think in some capacity, or they said, Jayus said something to the effect of like, "Oh, you just think I'm some scared like little girl or something." I don't know, something like that, you know. But anyway, let me try to correctly pronoun this individual. But yeah, man, with the whole Jayus thing, you know, they did a pretty like. Listen, they've had a history of constantly getting into fights with people. My buddy Acrello, which is somebody that like I wasn't friend like Acrello, I became friends with, and Jayus when I covered their issue together. They had like a tiff. She basically tried to like get rid of she was called, or sorry, I keep saying she. Oh, sorry, I'm not doing it on purpose. They were trying to deplatform Acrello because Acrello was doing the same type of content that they were doing, that Jayus was doing, or something. It was ridiculous. You can go look it up on my channel, right? You know, and then of course everything kind of comes to a head with the yeah, this is the one right here, uncovering the lost video. So this is the video right here if you want to take a look. But everything kind of came to a head when she came out that like, so I think 5 years ago she said the N-word. Well, she didn't say the N-word. She called somebody an N-word lover, which I think is worse than saying the N-word. I mean, like, yeah, it's like, it's not like you're not just using the word. You're like, oh, I don't know. It just feels worse. It's like you're not just saying like, oh, you're the N-word. It's like, oh, you find N-words attractive. You love. Oh wow, you know what I'm saying? Like it just, you know, feels a bit worse. But I still defended them because they had a rough childhood, and you know, growing up in the foster system and everything. And I felt bad because they even admitted to me that their own partner didn't want to hear anymore of them complaining about the situation. So I was up on a phone call and I was like, here, I tried to help them genuinely apologize, etc., etc., etc. And then I made a video. This all came to a head when I made a video where they said something about, I don't know, it was like a minimum wage thing. It was some political thing, and I covered it on YouTube, and they were like, "Oh, you like I hate you, all you," or something. They were like, "Oh, you only just try to use my name for a cloud, this and the other thing," and I was like, "Bro," I say "bro" as a gender neutral term. I've like defended you publicly. What are you talking about? Like, I don't use your name for clout. I've been defending you, even when you said the N-word stuff. Everybody was dogging on you, and I was like, "Yeah, this is really shitty." But I don't think that Jayus is a bad person for it because of these terms. And I talked about how like it was a white person. We don't understand especially when we're younger. Well, I've been there too. You know, you don't understand the weight of the word because there's no word you can call a white person for being white that would ever diminish them in one word. Then you can call like a black person, and I talked about that, and like I shared that experience, but it was just like really shitty. So I disconnected from them because obviously they don't give a fuck. You know, I reached out to this person when they were in like their worst moment. But like, and also when I got banned on TikTok, there was no reaching out either. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying. So very clearly, I never expected to be like big friends, but like, you know, work friends. You know what I'm saying? Like that was what the end. But very clearly, Jayus doesn't know how to build relationships or maintain them. I guess because she's just a dysfunctional person. I don't know. Stayer of dysfunctional. Oh my god, I'm really trying here. Anyway, let's watch this video.
In the past, I said disgusting things to people, and I am so ashamed of myself for using racist rhetoric, and I am so sorry to everyone, but especially to those in the black community because...
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the only person you really should be sorry to. Although you did say the F slur, too. Nobody really cared about that.
Only you guys can forgive me for this.
One of the worst I've ever seen. She definitely took notes from the other crappy ones, is how a YouTube...
I just want to bring this up for context. Jayus didn't release an apology for like 3 days. I was on like this. I was up on the phone with her. Them for like 3 days. Not for 3 days. Oh my god. I was up on the phone with them at like it's like 2 or 3 in the morning for like an hour, talking to them about how like they should just make it like a quick, genuine apology, like now, don't drag it on. And they're like, "Well, my managers want me to wait," blah 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 blah. You know. And then they came out with an apology 3 days later, inviting black people onto their platform, which they never really seemed to uphold that bargain. So, you know, yeah, this is pretty bad stuff, man.
Comment described OnlyJayus' public apology following just one of her numerous different TikTok controversies.
What is going on with you white saviors?
Hey! It's a Freak the Gemini, bro. Not to be confused with Gemini Official. That one's a predator. This is Freak the Gemini. He's a really good guy.
That keep trying to defend Jayus for saying N-word lover, bro. You must say it too.
This is what makes OnlyJayus' story
I'm just joking and dying.
unique. Despite having incredibly uncontroversial content,
If you're at a house party and you got a drink in your hand, don't hold it up here by your chest. Try to hold it more down towards your hip. This will make you seem more open and confident, and people will be more willing to come up and talk to you.
I think it's kind of a red flag when you don't make controversial content and you're somehow more controversial than people who do. Like, I make controversial content. I don't make content to be controversial. I just happen to cover topics that are controversial. And even I have not been in anywhere near the same, like, you know what I mean? Like, Jayus has been called out more times than me. You know what I mean? Because it's part of the program. When you deal in controversial topics and you're trying to have, especially conversations about like real world issues, you know, you tend to, yeah, of course, you're inviting, you know, a shitstorm. But yeah, Jayus just makes Reddit re-uploads. Like they go and find Reddit posts and then they make a video out of it, which is fine. Grab your bag, girl. Fuck. Grab your bag. But there's also this really weird, like, egotistical aspect of Jayus where they think that they're like the greatest person in the world. They're incredibly condescending, because they got lucky, bro. There's nothing of particular substance going on. Like, they just read Reddit posts, and that's cool. Like, that's totally fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting here pretending that, you know, you have to be like this incredible genius talent, but like, you'd think that you'd maintain a little bit of humble nature.
she's found herself in a big scandal on the political TikTok battlefield every couple of months for the last 3 years.
At this point, people of color should not be following OnlyJayus.
Yeah, I think that was when Jayus didn't give black people a platform after promising it.
Why is OnlyJayus more prone to getting involved in these types of controversies? Is it something to do with how she responds to those
You're misgendering her, bro. What the fuck? I even did it myself. Dude, I'm really struggling, but I'm trying.
critical of her?
I barely text my family back, and I just had to move apartments because my address got leaked, and you're gonna throw a fit because I didn't make you my priority?
After
That was after she promised in her apology video to open her platform up to black creators, and she just didn't do it.
petition to ban OnlyJayus from TikTok garnered over 400,000 signatures, it'd be safe to say that
this signature came up after another controversy happened where Jayus made like a video, and this one actually wasn't bad, but Jayus had made a video where they made a joke about how, like, if you see I think it was a joke that was like, oh, if you see a dog, like a guide dog walking around, follow it because it's gonna bring you back to its owner. That might be a disabled person that needs it, like a disabled person that needs a dog, and this way you can get a free wallet. And people like lost their shit, and that's when this happened, which was bizarre because that was like a silly joke. That, you know what I mean? But that's what this ban or signature or whatever came from.
Contender for the platform's most hated creator. And while such a title seems unfair without any further information or knowledge, as we go through explaining how this hatred came to be, the reason for this title will become blatantly obvious.
Oh, Jayus doesn't even have their pronouns in the bio anymore. Okay, I guess are they a she now? How do we do this? What is happening? What are we talking about? Why would they remove their pronouns from their bio? Am I missing something here? Do they no longer identify as... Well, I guess they just don't care. So I guess we're allowed to call them a she. All right, I'm not going to care if I mess it up now because I can only assume that they removed their pronouns from the bio because they no longer give a singular fuck about their pronouns. Unless I'm just blind and don't see it, but I'm pretty sure I don't see it. So...
videos. And it all began with a tweet made by OnlyJayus on the 9th of April 2020, just 12 months after she began posting videos to the website. I constantly feel like nobody actually likes me, so when I see thousands of hate comments saying, yeah,
I think so for I'm gonna pause that.
16 months, love you, Papa.
Yeah, I never liked OnlyJayus. She's so annoying. Jayus seems like a horrible person. That pushed me to the edge.
Well, you don't do anything of substance. What's to like? I'm not trying to be an ass. Well, maybe I am. But you don't really do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you... You're like, I read Reddit posts. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's like that would be like if you were expected to like the kid who does the morning announcements in middle school. It's like, that kid's just reading a piece of paper. Like, why are you going to like that kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a shit?
The harsh and possibly even backwards reality of life is that those who acknowledge and complain about hate only end up receiving more hate. In the beginning, OnlyJayus likely received a pretty standard amount of negative feedback, owing to maybe a slightly annoying delivery as she mentioned in her tweet. The problem that OnlyJayus had was that she really struggled to ignore criticism, and always seemed to give way too much attention to any situation in which there was some kind of negative sentiment against her name. It's got to be a running theme throughout this whole video, but it started with her simple inability to ignore basic negative comments, such as, yeah, I never liked OnlyJayus, which is a pretty tame comment, giving her a foundational reputation as someone who would crack if you simply applied enough pressure. 3 months later, this reputation as a creator who would respond to negative criticism would...
Oh, the John Moss controversy. It's another buddy of mine. He's a good guy. I'm trying to remember what it is.
Continue after OnlyJayus discovered that another creator by the name of the Jonathan...
I think she like stole a video idea from her. And then JS lost her shit. I could say her now because they removed the pronouns from the bio, which means they don't care.
Moss had been copying some of her videos word for word.
Did you know that your birth month actually has a huge effect on who you are as a person and the things that could possibly happen to you?
Yo, did you know that your birth month actually has a huge effect on you and the things that can happen to you in your life?
People born
I mean, that is shitty. You shouldn't be stealing word for word somebody's trend, but...
in March are way more likely to have asthma, and I can actually speak to this one because my little sister, the only one born in March, has asthma.
People born in March are actually more likely to have asthma, and I can speak to that because my cousin, the only person born in March, has asthma.
OnlyJayus would respond to the copied videos in a tweet reading, TikTok creators should be called out when they copy other TikTok creators' videos word for word, alongside a video calling
I mean, listen, as much as we don't like JS, they're not wrong there.
out the Jonathan Moss directly. Jonathan responded by stating that he'd simply found the information on Google, and as a result, OnlyJayus was berated and mocked by her audience, with them stating that she was in the wrong for copying the information from Google. This
Was it actually word for word from Google? That's crazy. Wait, so then they did did the exact same thing.
information is from a website. Why are you copying a copier? Copied from Google, then complains when others do the same. Which Business Insider article is this from? There was clearly a bit of an injustice being done here. To state that her information was invalid because it was found on Google has got to be one of the dumbest arguments ever made. What did they expect her to do? Find some old...
Well, I think the claim is that, like, this was a word-for-word Reddit post. I don't know if that's verifiable, but I would imagine that's the claim. It's like, it's not like it was just found on Google. It was a word... Because it must have been a word-for-word Reddit post because they both added the cousin thing in there. Or John Moss just copied the video. That's totally possible as well. But I think what John Moss was trying to say is like, hey, this was a Reddit post, and JS just read it off word for word, and so did I.
Old 1850s foundational manuscript covered in dust at the National Library and take her facts from there. Jonathan Moss had clearly copied her videos word for word after OnlyJayus had posted them originally, meaning there was no doubt about who copied who. However, OnlyJayus
It would be who copied whom, bro. Come on.
was still painted as being in the wrong for one simple reason. They knew they could get a reaction out of her if they simply applied enough pressure, which they eventually would.
Maybe. It also might have just been a copy-paste from a Reddit post, my friend.
After receiving hundreds of negative comments on her response, OnlyJayus would take to Reddit stating, he said that he found it on Google, which I mean he did, but only after watching my video. I'm now getting a huge amount of hate, people saying I'm lying. I copied comments on her response, OnlyJayus.
Yeah, the same day John Moss saw my video, found my source, and made it part, on his page before I made mine. I thought it was super disrespectful, so I unfollowed me later, DM me asking why I never responded, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it sounds like she just copied it. They copied the same script.
Would take to Reddit stating, he said that he found it on Google, which I mean he did, but only after watching my video. I'm now getting a
have better content. I don't know what to tell you. Like, react harder, bro. You know what I'm saying?
A huge amount of hate, people saying I'm lying. I copied Google too, I'm problematic, I should be cancelled, etc. I have a hard time dealing with the negativity. I still don't know what to do. I don't think I've done anything wrong. Maybe you do, but honestly, I don't see it. Now, you probably wouldn't go so far as to say that OnlyJayus was playing the victim, but she was once again complaining about the circumstances that she had found herself in. And to reiterate the point from earlier, complaining about hate doesn't make it go away, but rather amplifies it, as the audience will look for increasingly petty things to berate you for. With this in mind, it's barely surprising to find out that approximately 6 months later, an old message would be dug up in which OnlyJayus had said the N-word,
yeah, and the F-slur,
taking center stage as her brand new colossal-sized controversy.
I will say one. Well, first of all,
I love you no matter.
First of all, we need to talk about something else because we missed a bump. There was like a weird. This was I think Freak was talking about it mostly, and I jumped into. But Jay has talked about the kill all men narrative, right? This happened immediately before this. This is what you get. So Jay jumped on the kill all men, and the kill all men narrative is like, oh, kill all men. It's like anti, whatever. It's not really a positive feminist, whatever. That's not the operation. And Jayus took the stance of like, oh, just basically defended the narrative. So people were upset with her. Because of that, the person that was in the DMs with them released this, right? They released this from like 6 years ago. Okay, and she had a big back and forth with Freak the Gemini, the guy from the beginning. Released this. Now, it's shitty. It is shitty. Like, I'm not going to defend it. What I will say is the person who released it conveniently unsent all of their messages to Jayus. So I'm like, I was like, what did you say to her? And he was like, oh, I don't remember. Which is like, okay. Because it's not justifiable at all. But I will say, well, what were you guys yelling at? I don't know if I necessarily believe that it was just a one-way street with like with the screaming or the provocative language. I'm just saying.
It said the N-word, taking center stage as her brand new colossal.
She said the N-word lover. It is a little different. I think it's much more loaded. Just the N-word. You know what I mean? Like, if you're some edgy kid that says the N-word, that's like, oh, you just don't know what it means, I guess. But if you say you're a lover, it's like, oh, you love dirty black people. That's kind of the energy there. I feel like it's worse. Maybe I'm wrong, but
sized controversy.
I love you no matter your sex, your gender, your sexuality, your faith, or your race.
I guess that didn't age well, because this you at the bottom calling someone the hard ER, a word used to oppress black people. This is why I don't trust people with savior complexes, bro. I feel like it's always a second agenda behind what you do. If you say it's 2 to 3 years old, you were 20 years old when you said it. The other day,
no, I think she was 16 at the time that she said it. 17, maybe? I think it was 5 years old, and she was 17 at the time. Pretty sure that's accurate. 16 or 17 at the time, just for context.
Madison was canceled for old BLM tweets from 2016. Let's see if everyone keeps the same energy. You're a role model to 10 million people, bro. I hope things get better, and I hope you educate.
There were a couple of comments in support of OnlyJayus, however, as a whole, and understandably, the response was mostly negative.
To be honest with you, the response was incredibly tame given the circumstances. I'm not even kidding when I say that like every large black creator that spoke on this their energy really wasn't as proportionate as it could or should have been. People went really easy on her. I'm not kidding. Like, I remember being there, like the Freak, the Gemini, and like I Speak, like they spoke out against it, but they didn't go in on her the way that they could have. It was after she promised her platform to black people after 3 days, a really dishonest apology where people started giving her shit. So, I'm just saying, man, I remember it. I was like, geez, everybody didn't like go in, like, even me. I was like, yeah, this is really shitty. And I brought up their bad childhood, and I was like, it doesn't justify it, but I talked to Jayus, and I think they're being genuine, and blah, blah, blah. And, that apology, though, that was rough, brother. Because it wasn't a real one.
All these white people saying, it happened 4 years ago. Literally, it doesn't matter. She did it and needs to take responsibility.
This person is white, bro. Shut the fuck up. I'm just fucking around.
The hard ER, she's done. And at OnlyJayus, you got caught in 4K.
A lot of them said that.
The best way that Jayus could have responded to this expose would have either been no response at all, or a short, cool, calm, collected, unemotional post or video.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure.
Alternatively, she could have thrown a real curveball and simply said, I'm not sorry, which
Well, listen, I talk. This is the thing. JS doesn't have an excuse for a shitty apology because I talked to JS that night. I think it was that night, and I said, "Listen, you know, I leveled with JS. I said, like, listen, like, I understand what you did was shitty, and I think you should come out and you say, listen, and this is what, like, I was like, listen, man, come out and something short, sweet, and like meaningful, and say, listen, like, I said that a long time ago. It was really shitty. There's no excuse for it. At the time, as a white person, I didn't understand the meaning of the word because white people didn't. I just want you to know that. So, like, it's like a pro-edgy gamer word. Ha ha ha, memes. You know, that's how people used to look at it, especially fucking edgelords on the internet. And I'm not going to lie, I was there. And then after educating myself, I was like, holy fuck. You know, because it takes a while. Like I said, like, there's no way for me to identify with any word close to that. There's nothing you could call me that would make me go, oh, like, that would really devastate me. You can't, there's nothing you could call me that would bring me back to my historical trauma. I'm not even kidding. Like, there's nothing you could say that would demean me in the same way so instantly. And said JS waited 3 days and had, like, a really weird looking apology. And she kind of looked like a Who from Whoville.
Which would have actually been respectable.
Yeah, cracker.
As it's 100 times harder than simply getting in front of the camera and blurting out some pre-written stupid script with the goal of suppressing the criticism in the short term. However, with a track record like OnlyJayus, obviously she did none of these, and rather posted a long, emotionally charged, scripted, generic social media apology, which felt as though it was designed to trick the audience into coming away with a specific feeling, as is usually the case with these types of public apologies.
It just, to me, looks kind of like one of the Who's from Whoville. From Dr. Seuss, you know? Like, kind of looks like Who's from Whoville a little bit. There's Leafy. You know? I don't know. Let's move on.
Apologies.
And there is no excuse, and there are no justifications for what I said, and you guys deserve better.
This is terrible.
And when I first saw the screenshots, I didn't even think that they were real, because I forgot.
Oh, yeah, because she denied it. She's like, or they, whatever. I don't know what I'm supposed to be using. They were like, I didn't say that. That wasn't me. You know? And so they were like, oh, I actually really thought it wasn't me. You know?
Forgot how hateful and how angry of a person I used to be.
Another YouTuber slash TikToker by the name of Papa Gut, who
that is Papa Gut. That's me. Woo.
Spoke to JS on the phone prior to the apology, thought
I did do that.
the intentions were sincere.
Bro, this is the most disrespectful thing you could have ever done, dude. You're literally gonna show a fucking picture of me when I don't have my mustache. You motherfucking piece of shit. You motherfucking asshole. God damn it. Fuck you, SunnyV2, you piece of shit. Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna make me look like the Beast Titan right now? This is my fucking 15 seconds of fame on your channel is gonna be me looking like a fucking Beast Titan? Are you kidding me right now, bro? Bro, can I just tell you that I was trying to trim my mustache at this point and I accidentally fucked it up, so I just trimmed it all off. And it was a horrible mistake. And you're gonna show this to me? You're gonna make me watch this? You're gonna make me watch Amish Papa Gut right now, you son of a bitch? God damn it, okay.
And that the apology was simply delivered poorly.
I actually had a private phone call conversation with JS about this situation. She seemed, bro, what are you doing? Not even bald all the way. Look, I look like shit. Pretty sincere about how sorry she was. Again, like I said, I thought she was being genuine. What she produced was rough. It was less than stellar.
Others such as Freak the Gemini were less optimistic.
You literally hit us with a Playboy Cardi album. All that suspense just for it to be trash. The worst insult you
Oh yeah, talk to Freak about this on there too. You could look up like Pop Got Freak the Gemini. We talked about this before.
could tell somebody was liking black people. Wow.
With the scandal being shared across every platform imaginable, OnlyJayus
God, there's Nick Foster.
would also lose all of her sponsors, as well as a Netflix podcast she'd been hosting by the name of Know It All. At Tinder, this is what your walking ad is saying.
There's a Tinder ad with JS in it? What the fuck?
She has a Netflix podcast. Everyone needs to tag at Netflix.
Netflix has cut ties with JS. Big dubs.
OnlyJayus was clearly feeling the pressure, and understandably wanted to make things right with her audience. So she'd end the apology by stating that she wanted to
share my platform with some amazing black creators who are going to tell their story to try and educate others on.
It makes sense now. No, I get it now. Here's the thing, guys. JS promised her channel to amazing black creators and never delivered. And people were saying it's because she never intended to provide her platform for amazing black creators. The thing is that Jayus is racist and doesn't think that any black people are amazing. So she didn't really lie. She didn't lie, right? According to her. That was her. She's just speaking her truth. That's it. I'm going to provide it to some amazing black creators. Oops, couldn't find any. I don't like black people. There you go. We figured it out. We have finally figured it out. We finally figured it out.
On the trauma that happens when we use this kind of language.
Which would eventually result in her and another African-American content creator by the name of Aunt
I don't know why. Just black. Whatever.
Karen agreeing to collaborate on OnlyJayus' channel. In addition to this, 2 weeks after the apology, OnlyJayus would go to the effort of posting a video talking about how she had read a book on anti-racism.
The first book that I decided to pick.
It's just kind of funny to me. Like, listen, you definitely need to educate yourself on like race shit as a white person, especially, you know, because you're not gonna feel it, right? I get it. You're not gonna feel like race. You don't really feel race as a white person usually. You know what I mean? But it's just so weird. Like I read an anti-racism book and I found out that the N-word was bad. It's like, listen, we always knew it was bad. It was just that people didn't really understand why it was bad. I don't know. The book thing is weird to me. I don't know. I wonder if Jay has read the book through Reddit posts, though. That's all I wonder.
Up was How to Be Anti-Racist by Dr. Ibram Kendi, and this will push readers that think that they're not racist into being something better.
To her credit, she did acknowledge that it was a grift in the title, stating, "I know it might come off as performative, talking about this at the end of Black History Month, but I'm trying to just educate myself and use my..."
Well, that's not them, whatever, acknowledging it's a grift. That's just them saying it might sound like a grift, but I'm being honest, guys.
Platform for good. However, her audience wasn't buying any of the lie.
What was the book? Who wrote
that think that they're not racist into being something by Dr. Ibram Kendi. And this will push readers that think that they're not racist into being something better.
To her credit, she did acknowledge that it was a grift in the title, stating, "I know it might come off as performative, talking about this at the end of Black History Month, but I'm trying to just educate myself and use my platform for good." However, her audience wasn't buying any of the lies. I bet after this video she just tossed the book like it's nothing. That seems like an amazing book for you, but I think you missed some pages. Maybe you missed a few chapters, read it again. But hey, at least she was still in the process of sharing her platform with some other black content creators as she promised, right? Well, no.
So the pivot here, I remember this, is that JS was like, well, I'm not going to give you a platform on my main platform. I'm going to give it to you on my like podcast. I think that's what it was. But oops, I lost that. Because I don't think that she lost her sponsorships yet. At this point, she hadn't lost her sponsorships. I don't think so. It wasn't instantaneous. It took a bit, I think. I don't remember. I might be wrong about that. But I think that that's what JS had said. They're like, oh, I'll give it to you on my podcast. You know what I mean? Some bullshit. It was such a dishonest load of shit.
This message is for you, OnlyJayus, after your whole N-word debacle. Said you want to collaborate with me. We email, and suddenly you've dropped off the face of the earth. Are black people just tokens for you to use when you're ready to play? If you were really, truly sorry about what you said, you would not have lied and said you were going to do something you clearly aren't trying to do.
The TikTok essentially...
Well, you have to understand, JS is a neurodivergent minor, okay? She has ADHD, okay? So she's just quirky. Just quirky. She can't... I totally forgot my ADHD.
Outlined that after agreeing to collaborate, OnlyJayus would ghost this creator by the name of Aunt Karen once everyone had forgotten about the drama.
Yeah.
Now, to OnlyJayus' credit, Aunt Karen's call-out was even more pathetic than JS' original apology.
Why?
Because setting up a collaboration with another creator can be incredibly difficult.
No. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Aunt Karen, but just no. Just disagree. Like, Aunt Karen, just like everyone else, has their ups and downs, but no, it's not really pathetic. It's not at all. It was completely reasonable, because it had been a pretty long period of time. And JS lost her job. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to understand something with the collaboration on TikTok. Check this out. Hey, Aunt Karen, would you like to make a video for me to post on my TikTok? Okay. Sounds great. Send it over. Not a super difficult collaboration. All you need to do is say, here's, you know, I don't know if we had 3-minute videos up at this point, but here, you can make I'll say, like, this is what I would do. Like, listen, I think at the time they didn't have 3 minutes. I say, listen, I'm going to give you like a two-parter. You know, give you two minutes on the platform. I'm going to put them up and I'm going to leave them up. Bada bing, bada boom. And then maybe I'll say I won't post for 3 days or something. This way it kind of just sits through the algorithm better, I guess. Wasn't like a super, nothing pathetic about it. JS dodged Aunt Karen. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's just not pathetic. Come on. What are you talking about? What is it that you're saying here? I don't understand it.
There's always problems relating to difference in content style, difference in schedule, difference in time zones.
Who cares?
The problem of coming.
What difference in time zones? It's like maybe an hour or two apart. Bro, come on. This is Sniper Wolf all over again. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have the time. Shut the fuck up, dude. Come on. It's not that hard, dude. Especially on TikTok, dude. Come on, you're giving her way too much. You're giving Jace way too much of the benefit of the doubt. It is similar criticism that I had with your Gypsy Crusader video. Like you gave Gypsy Crusader like way too much like slack. Why are you cutting these people so much slack? Why? I'm not trying to be an asshole, okay? I'm really not trying to make this assertion, but like why are you always giving people the benefit of the doubt when they don't like black people? I'm really genuinely not trying to sit here and be like, oh, you're a fucking asshole racist. I don't think that's true. But I've noticed a trend where like I felt like your Gypsy Crusader video was like in defense of Gypsy Crusader, and now your OnlyJayus video feels very in defense of OnlyJayus. It's like, why, man? Why? It just doesn't feel right. Why, dude? Come on. It's disappointing. And you put Beast Titan Papa Gut in the video, which is honestly, you gotta cancel SunnyV2 for that. You know what I'm saying?
Coming up with a video idea that will be a hit with both audiences. What part of the script do I allocate to the other person, etc, etc. Yet, Aunt Karen's argument in the call-out was, because OnlyJayus ghosted me, she's therefore a racist.
Yes, that's actually an appropriate response, right? I'm gonna do this thing. I like this thing. It's called paint. I love paint. All right, so check this out. Pretty simple stuff. We got OJ, OnlyJayus Simpson, right? Said the N-word. Well, said the N-word lover, actually said. Now, this was a while ago. OnlyJayus apologized. There's your apology. Came off as a little dishonest. Put a little D there. But, okay. Jayus offered platform black people. Pretty important stuff, right? We're just following. Jayus and Aunt Karen. OJ plus Aunt Karen started to set it up. Right? As a way, this was her. Jayus promised their platform to black creators because she did a bad thing and wanted to amplify black voices so they could speak their mind. Right? Then Jayus ghosted her for like weeks. Okay. So all these things, if we make these all pluses instead of arrows, all these things together, to me, equals racist. It equals a racist. What is the other conclusion? Like, she said the N-word, promised her platform, and then couldn't make the time to to fulfill their promise to amplify black voices. What do you want me to, what is the other conclusion that we could reach? It just seems to not give a, like, what other logical conclusion? Oh, she was busy. Bro, it's TikTok. It's not like it's not like we're shooting a movie, okay? Hey, Aunt Karen, send me over your videos. Oh, maybe it's not the same content. It doesn't need to be the same content style. It's just to amplify black voices. Use your platform to spread a message that Aunt Karen would normally spread on their platform that doesn't get as much exposure. That's it. It doesn't need, I need to make sure it hits in the algorithm. No, you could take an algorithmic hit for 1 or 2 videos. You can take an algorithmic hit for a couple videos to amplify black voices because it's still going to be more views than their platform without it. There's no other conclusion. It doesn't mean racist. I'm sorry. It literally does. It just does. There's no other conclusion. She just doesn't care.
Why not just be racist? Just say you're racist.
Now, maybe there was
I'm racist. I'm just kidding.
some racism involved in the decision. Who knows? But
I want you to understand something. Aunt Karen is somebody who's like has literally tried to come at me and like frame me in the worst light possible, and I'm still defending this person. Okay? there was a time where Aunt Karen, right? And I've had my rough moments on TikTok. I would talk about it. Like, I got banned and I deserved it. I feel that way. But that doesn't mean that every time someone called me out, I was in the wrong, okay? There was, after everything had like settled down, I was like, okay, I have to change for the better. This was after the fact. I had a mutual on TikTok, this young fucking kid, and they, on their platform, they were like, I don't think it matters. I think white people should use the N-word or something like that, or just a word or some bullshit like that. And then Karen saw that we were mutuals, was like, oh, you support this? And the video I said, it was like, no, I don't. First of all, I don't think white people should be having conversations about whether you should or shouldn't use the N-word. I said, but second of all, if you're going to use it, which you shouldn't, do it in private. Like, don't do it in public as a white person, because you know you're being antagonistic. Like, if you're going to sing like in a rap song, right? Because that's the version of the word that I was referring to. Then do it in private. Like, you don't need to go and blast it because you're just trying to be antagonistic. Like, it's really just knock it off. And then I said, yeah, there are some people in like some communities, usually like white people who grew up in like black communities, that can say it. They have like the past. That's what I said. Pretty pragmatic. You could disagree. And then Aunt Karen clicked it up and made it seem like I was like, yeah, it's okay to say the N-word. So yeah, not a big fan of Aunt Karen. A little bit dishonest. However, this situation, still right. I'll tell you. What to tell you.
But it's still a lazy, low-hanging fruit argument designed to create drama out of the highly likely reality, being that collaborations are just incredibly difficult to set up successfully. In addition to this, a feature on OnlyJayus' page with over...
Incorrect. I just disagree with that. Like, maybe in your experience it's difficult because like you're talking about YouTube collaborations. This is way different. And what I really don't like is that once again we're looking at things through like a drama sphere, and this is a huge problem on TikTok. So I don't know if I call SunnyV2 like a drama commentator, but SunnyV2 is like a commentary channel, and they talk about content, some of which seems to be like drama oriented. There's not an insult, that just, you know, whatever. Popular topics, do your thing, chase your bag. I have no problem with it. Problem is we're talking about social justice issues now, right? Jayus did a bad thing and promised their platform to amplify black voices, something that's very important and necessary, right? This is just what it is. And what's happening is you're looking through this through a drama lens. Like, oh, they're just saying that you're racist to diminish you. No, it's because Jayus is literally being racist. Just because it's not this absolute, it's not the most absolute, like, oh, absolute form of racism, doesn't mean it's not racist. Jayus said the N-word, promised her platform to black people, and then ignored black people. What that suggests is that she was just tokenizing black view, like, she was just tokenizing her apology, or she was using her apology to get like just to get validation from black creators so that they'll leave her alone and then go back to what she was doing. It is racist. I don't know what you want me to tell you, and I don't like that this consistency of like looking through these social lens, like the social justice issues, through the lens of the YouTube drama. It's silly. Like, it's silly. Jayus was being racist. That's it. It can be difficult to collab. No. Send me a 2-minute video and I'll put it up on my platform. Not that difficult to collab. It comes off as Jayus just trying to like consistently like stall time until Aunt Karen stops caring and the rest of us stop caring. That's the goal. It's like, okay, this won't be news in a little bit, and Aunt Karen will probably get tired of doing stuff, and people won't care to engage in what's going on, and that's what Jayus did, and it worked actually. So
10 million followers is going to cost a brand probably hundreds of thousands.
What if Aunt Karen was trying to upload a video on Jayus's page that was shitting on Jayus for or something that Jayus doesn't align with politically? Then that would have been said. Also, who cares? She deserves it. That's how you do that's how you would honestly apologize. Also, you could have literally just said like, hey, don't shit on me, and I'll put whatever you want up. Oh, it doesn't align with her politically? You're amplifying black voices. It doesn't need to align with her politically. There's a lot of justification from people here as to why Jayus shouldn't have to be held accountable for the thing that she did, and I find that very concerning. I find it very concerning that you have this like very large content creator here justifying Jayus's actions, as well as even people in my chat. Like, I don't think you're a bad person, but I need you to understand that like your perspective is a desperate attempt. Let me not try to be as like super antagonistic, but it's an attempt to try to set Aunt Karen's response to the highest standard possible. Right? Like, what you're effectively saying is that, like, well, what if Aunt Karen didn't say the perfect thing, and so Jayus didn't want to put it up? It's like, okay, who cares? You know what I'm saying? We're putting a lot of emphasis on, like, Aunt Karen needs to do the perfectly right thing. It's like, okay, Why? Why does it have to be perfect? Jayus did not do anything perfect here. So, and honestly, even way back when I first covered the controversy with her and Acrello, there was some like underlying feelings of racism there too. Acrello mentioned to me, she's like, you know, she called me boy, and I know a lot of you guys don't get that, but that's something that historically white people will use, like boy, to diminish black people. And at the time, I was like, that's possible, but I don't know. But after all this, like, you know, I'm just saying, she also seems to get into a lot of controversy with black creators. She got a controversy with John Moss, Acrello, even Freak the Gemini, which SunnyV2 didn't bring this up, but it's like the kill all men narrative. I'm just saying, if you consistently are getting into more trouble with black people, it's very possible that your subconscious bias is taking over and causing you to dislike black people at a higher rate. I'm just saying. And it seems like that makes sense, right? Jayus didn't really have a lot of controversy with white creators. Well, maybe it's a coincidence, but after everything is manifested, it's quite possible Jayus doesn't actually like black people, either subconsciously or actively, and is trying to hide it because Jayus knows that it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know that's like very speculative, and you might not agree. I'm just saying, man. Like, it's a little convenient that Jayus calls somebody the N-word lover, not an N-word, constantly gets into controversy with black creators, then promises black creators their platform, then ignores those black creators. I don't know what other conclusion we're left to come up with. There's not a whole lot of space for benefit of the doubt. I don't really know what you want me to tell you. Yeah.
Thousands of dollars, and despite OnlyJayus offering one of these spots to Aunt Karen for free, probably highly. In addition to this, a feature on OnlyJayus's page with over 10 million followers is going to cost a brand probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, and despite OnlyJayus offering one of these spots to Aunt Karen for free, Aunt Karen still seemed to narcissistically think that she was the one providing OnlyJayus with the opportunity.
Bro, SunnyV2, I think you've exhausted your benefit of the doubt. You have to be kidding me right now. Are you fucking high when you made this video? I don't understand. Why did you cover this topic so incorrectly? I just want to replay that so that I can just revel in what you just said.
Aunt Karen still seemed to narcissists of dollars, and OnlyJayus's page with over 10 million followers is going to cost a brand probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, and despite OnlyJayus offering one of these spots to Aunt Karen for free, Aunt Karen still seemed to narcissistically think that she was the one providing OnlyJayus with the opportunity.
Bro, you are a fucking idiot. And I'm sorry, but you are this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen you say. Let's follow the logic. Jayus calls somebody an N-word lover. Jayus apologizes and promises their platform. Jayus doesn't fulfill that promise, and now Aunt Karen is pathetic because that would have costed a lot of money. What? Jayus, what happened to just like fulfilling promises? What happened to that? Yeah, I'm going to give you this platform because I was being racist, so I want to amplify black voices. Oh, well, you know, I usually charge like $100,000 for this, so you're really lucky. Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? This is the weirdest bro, I'm flabbergasted. I'm fucking flabbergasted that you could have even thought that. That's insane. That's insane. Like, at this point, like, bro, what lens are you viewing the world through? What lens are you viewing the world through to have this perspective? This, like, really bizarre, like, perspective that, like, I don't get it, bro. It doesn't make sense. Is this your racism seeping out? I'm not just calling you racist, but like, bro, look at where we've gone. We've got the video about the Gypsy Crusader is very favorable to him. The video about Jayus is very favorable to her. And now you're claiming that Jayus did this really great altruistic thing by offering their platform to black people, and that Aunt Karen trying to hold her to the promise is somehow just pathetic on Aunt Karen's part. Bro, this is really bad. This is horrible. This is really, really bad.
I really gave you an opportunity. I really said, you know what, Aunt Karen? Let's see what she has to say. Let's see how we can mutually help each other.
Aunt Karen's call out was entitled and poorly thought out.
No, you're wrong and dumb.
But not invalid for one simple reason.
What? It was, bro.
OnlyJayus made a promise.
No shit. I don't understand why, like, this is fucking insane. Like, yeah, Aunt Karen was a fucking dumb cunt, bitch, piece of shit, entitled motherfucker because she was trying to hold Jayus to the promise, but Jayus made a promise. So technically, bro, how does your brain function and process information? How does your fucking brain process information? I don't understand how you could spend like a fucking period, all this time on like shitting on Aunt Karen for holding Jayus to a promise and then acknowledging that everything she did was correct. I don't fucking understand. This is insane. The mental gymnastics required are fucking mind-boggling. Holy shit. Bro, this experience watching your video is fucking mind-numbing. This is insane. This is fucking insane.
There are obviously exceptions, but most of the time, if you say you're going to do something publicly, you have to follow through with it or people are going to notice.
Yes, so why did you just shit on Aunt Karen?
Jayus would initially discuss the ghosting in an Instagram voice message.
So I am sorry for basically.
Hey, I'm sorry for forgetting. I have chaotic schizophrenia and ADHD. You could hit me up again, but you went public, which isn't cool. Okay. I don't want to collab anymore. Sounds like a really easy walk off.
Ghosting you, I didn't mean to do that. I just have a very chaotic schedule.
Hey guys, I just weaponized black views as a token. I said I'll give black people a platform, and I didn't. Establishing that it's not above me, or it's not out of my wheelhouse to weaponize social issues in order to get out of criticism, because I did that with black people. By the way, I have a bunch of mental issues, so I couldn't respond to you. Bro, I'm not saying Jayus doesn't have mental issues. I'm saying that it was abundantly clear that they're using it as a shield.
And ADHD on top of that, so I genuinely just forgot.
And then Jayus gets called out and doesn't say, I fucked up. Hey, Jayus didn't say, hey, listen, I was busy, etc., etc. Let's collab and make it happen right now. They used it as an excuse to just break off the engagement. There's no light you could shine here that makes Jayus look good.
It wasn't me trying to ignore you. You could have just hit me up again. But
it was. Jayus is constantly checking socials. Jayus is lying when they say that they couldn't get in contact with Aunt Karen. Jayus is obsessed with reading every single hate fucking comment that she gets. Do you think that she doesn't have the time to check her fucking DMs? No, she does. Always. That's all Jayus does, is constantly obsess over every bit of fucking criticism on the internet. That is Jayus's life, is to consume themselves in every single word that every single person ever says eternally. So this idea that Jayus, who stares at their phone all day, doesn't have time to look at their email is insane. It is unrealistic. It is fucking out of control.
But instead you decided to go public and try to add public pressure onto me, and
yes, because you deserved it, because you were ignoring her.
That's not cool. So
That's not cool. I just said the N-word, but it's not cool that you're holding me to an apology.
don't want to collaborate.
Which will once again receive a response from Aunt Karen, explaining that she had emailed OnlyJayus multiple times with no reply.
You're gonna put it on me? In your voicemail, you said I should have emailed you again? April 4th, I emailed you. How many times do you expect me to message you, waiting on you to continuously ghost me?
Now, OnlyJayus probably...
Look at this. No. Let's not. Can we not ignore this right here? That absolutely destroys SunnyV2's bullshit fucking argument. I put together a quick 14-second video. Now, we don't know what else that says. Reasonable assumption. Aunt Karen wanted a 14-second video on Jayus's platform. She sent Jayus a 14-second video. That's all Jayus had to do, was put up a 14-second video, according to this right here. And you're making it seem like collabs are hard. It's not that hard to upload someone else's 14-second video clip to their TikTok as a hold to a promise, because you called somebody an N-word lover and then promised a platform to amplify black voices. It doesn't make sense. And this was on March 17th. And then 2 weeks later, Aunt Karen said, hey, what's up? How do you construct this narrative? How did you fucking jump through these hurdles to come to your conclusion? I don't understand. This is insane. It like what I'm saying is so obvious and common sense, like fucking commonsensical, and yet somehow Sunny is just missing everything. What the fuck?
Could have left it at that, and the drama would have been over within 4 weeks. However,
what?
Now, OnlyJayus probably could have left it at that, and the drama would have been over within 4 weeks.
But that's not the right thing to do.
However, as Papa Gut said most accurately,
for whatever reason, JS doesn't know how to just stop. Like when somebody criticizes JS, JS responds, and that's the worst thing.
And in classic OnlyJayus fashion, she'd post another
bro, like, holy fuck, bro.
Emotionally charged response to the drama.
Today's episode of What Are People Mad at Me For Now? Not checking my emails in a timely manner.
Wow. 2 weeks, bro? It took you 2 weeks? We just established it was 2 weeks. So I'm talking about. We're just feeding into the the JS gaslight.
I was joking. I forgot to respond to an email from this creator that wanted to collab with me. And, you know, instead of just like hitting me up again, they made...
Do you see how JS isn't even being honest in this TikTok? A creator that wanted to collab with me. No, JS, it was a creator you promised to collab with after being racist. She's not even framing the TikTok correctly. Do you understand? Do you understand that this isn't even an honest portrayal of what's happening?
7 videos about it!
Good.
Please leave me.
That's one video for every like fucking 4 days you ignored her. Not bad.
Leave the f alone! I have a diagnosed neurological disorder that makes me forget things.
I have ADHD too, diagnosed. Shut the fuck up, Jace. This is literally victim complex, weaponizing ADHD. Because according to JS, people with ADHD are fucking stupid invalid children that just don't know how to act. I forgot, okay. You forgot? You're telling me that somehow you forgot you called someone the N-word lover? You got deplatformed for it. You got hit so hard for it. You lost your sponsorships. And you're telling me it's not in the front of your fucking mind? That's insane. That's like if I had like a fucking knife in my shoulder and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot that was there. Impossible. It doesn't make any logical sense. You didn't forget. It's the only thing in your mind. It's what you were obsessing about the entire time. This is an active and intentional fucking this is an active and intentional ignoring of the issue. She forgore? What?
And procrastinate due to time blindness.
Shut the fuck up.
I forget to eat for days. I procrastinate sleep.
We mentioned earlier that the more attention OnlyJayus gave to each of these...
You know what's really interesting here? And I know I'm reading a lot into this, but this is what we have. We have a white girl crying and SunnyV2 falling for it. I just want you to understand. Because after the whole B family debacle where we talked about like the potential race issue involved in there with a crying white girl trying to like fucking, you know, being like a crying white girl problems lending to a disproportionate response from Killick, who like said some shitty things to her brother about her because they were trolling each other on the internet, which is bad. And we talked about that. But the disproportionate response of calling him a rapist, a pedophile, and a predator. He was 17, she was 15. And he thought that she was older, by the way, because she said that she called the B kid like a younger. Doesn't really matter. In like an Instagram post, she was like, "Oh, my little brother." But can we talk about that? Like that's it. That's all it takes. Historically, it's all it fucking takes is one fucking white girl crying, and all of a sudden we don't give a shit about black people anymore. Fucking insane. This is an indefensible point to take. She was being racist, and then she cried, and you're like, "Well, you know, Aunt Karen is pathetic." What?
Scandals, the more she'd be held accountable for increasingly petty incidents. Well, after of these scandals, the more she'd be held accountable for increasingly petty incidents.
Just wanted you to know, this wasn't a petty incident. Guys, this shouldn't be saying the N-word.
Well,
and her response was horrible. She could have just apologized and not offered the platform, but she did.
Well, after this explosive response, the things that her audience would call her out on were taken to the absolute extreme. For example, she would post this video.
You can get your letters delivered for free without any postage if you just put where you want it to go on the return address instead of where it's actually supposed to be.
Which would get the post office activists involved with comments such as, yes, please encourage people to do activities that cause the already failing post office to lose more money. Or when she posts this video saying nothing more than what degree she did.
So I got my college degrees in math and computer science, which means that I was never really good at writing.
To receive comments such as, I thought you would have majored in saying slur sciences.
Yeah, she deserves that hate because, again, she didn't apologize. correctly. She had a dishonest apology.
However, it eventually got to the point where OnlyJayus couldn't even make jokes anymore without being cancelled. Seriously. On the 23rd of May 2021, OnlyJayus would post the following video.
If a service dog ever approaches you but they're alone, that means that their owner's in trouble and they probably can't move, so you should follow him, because you'll get a free wallet.
It was clearly a light-hearted joke, summed up in comments such as, she probably said the wallet thing to lighten the mood of something.
Yes, it wasn't that bad of a joke, and people lost it over it. But you want to know what? After what she did, she deserves to be constantly scrutinized. And I know I defended her on this. I defended her more than I ever should have, and I regret it, 100%. Because even I decided to move past her shitty response or non-response, her lying about responding to black people. So that would be the racism of Papa Gut. I'm not even kidding. That's still a nagging issue. Yeah, fucking W regret, yeah. That's still a nagging issue. She never properly apologized. She didn't apologize. Her entire apology is invalidated by her retracting her platforming of black people.
Something bad. Obviously, she wouldn't take a wallet and probably knew that most people would. Bro, do people get this as a joke? Y'all are so sensitive. However, the rest of her audience simply saw yet another opportunity to put OnlyJayus through another period of hardship.
Yeah, oh, Jayus, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, you're such a victim, Jayus. Oh my god, crying white girl. Oh.
Can't believe this is still up. It's obvious that it's a joke, but some people may still do it. It could start a trend.
That's just not gonna happen at all, okay? I just want you to know. It's not gonna start a trend. That's never gonna happen. But she deserves getting backlash. She doesn't deserve to be forgiven. I don't understand. She doesn't deserve to be forgiven specifically because she didn't have a genuine apology. That's it. She could have apologized genuine, and she didn't, because if she did, she would have platformed black people. She fucking didn't. I don't know what anyone would tell you.
What you post on the internet reaches so many people.
She ghosted Aunt Karen. When she called her out, she was like, fuck you. And then you're defending Jayus, weird fucking motherfucker, dude.
And some of those people may be inconsiderate or apathetic towards others and do something wrong as a joke that highly affects another person. Take some YouTube and TikTok prank channels for example.
When is it going to be enough to say OnlyJayus is not a good creator, should not be followed, and should not be listened to? My child, they are a service dog user. This is not a kind of joke you want to be putting out there. It's not funny to anybody who uses a service dog.
With all this in mind, the petition with over 400,000 signatures to have OnlyJayus banned is barely a surprise. She dug herself into a hole by displaying an inability to switch off from the audience after being involved in scandal after scandal after scandal. Sometimes criticism from the audience is genuine and can be spotted easily because it's worded in a constructive way, but a lot of the time, without them even realizing it, people write mean or critical things just to see if you're the type of person to crack, respond, or apologize, as has been the case throughout OnlyJayus' entire TikTok career. She's been tested over and over and over, yet has been unable to switch off and let things go whenever she's been put under pressure. As an end result, there's not only a loss of respect, but also a never-ending freight train of negativity and hatred.
Yeah, man, really bad video. Without a doubt, 100% terrible video. And like the biggest issue I have is this entire video comes off as a reframing of Jayus in a really positive light. Like it was horrible. It really killed me, genuinely killed me and disappointed me drastically when, despite the fact that you acknowledged that Jayus was being racist by calling somebody the N-word lover, and then apologized and promised her platform to black creators, despite the fact that you somehow acknowledged that, you still criticized a black creator who was trying to hold her to that promise for ignoring her for weeks. For weeks. That was really bad. And this is the second video that I've seen from you where you talk about somebody who uses racist rhetoric defending them, and that was Gypsy Crusader. So we have Gypsy Crusader and we have OnlyJayus. And so I don't really understand. The only thing I can think of is that you just didn't think it was a big deal that she said the N-word, and so you thought that who cares? That's all I can think. I don't know. But, like, I'm not to sit here and say that you're some kind of, like, an active racist that hates black people, because I think that would be massively disproportionate of a response. But I do think that you absolutely need to check, like, you need to fucking check your biases, dude. You really need to check your fucking, like, your subconscious bias here. Because there's no way that anything that you said makes any logical sense. This was really bad. This was a really shitty framing of the situation. You somehow made a racist person seem like the hero in their own story. Not good. Not good at all, man. I mean, you displayed the information really well. That's the thing. It's like it was really well-made video. I'm not criticizing you for being a poor content creator. I'm criticizing you because the way like that you displayed the information was manipulative and it was inaccurate. And it was embarrassing. I was really bad. It was really bad. He probably doesn't have an idea of the depth of the situation. It doesn't matter. What you're saying is justifying his bad actions. You don't need to know the depth of the situation to go, Jayus called somebody an N-word lover. She apologized, it was bullshit, by promising her platform to black people. Then she ignored black people when they tried to take her up on the offer and then gaslit the audience into thinking that it's black people's fault for not being able to utilize her platform because they're annoying me. Yeah, you guys need to really, you guys got to stop with the bullshit justifications. Okay, somebody will exhibit like really bad behavior, and you guys will go fucking ballistic trying to make sure that they're a good guy. Okay, just saying, dude. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy, bro.